This is Matthew Cratter from Bitcoin University, and today I wanted to talk about the Ripple decision and how the XRP army is rejoicing. A judge has ruled that Ripple's sales of XRP were not securities when they were dumped on the XRP army and retail investors, but they were securities when they were dumped on institutions, which is a very strange result that we're going to talk about. The background here, Ripple is one of the most evil companies in the world, in my opinion. It was co-founded by someone who is a serial scammer, in my opinion, Jed McCaleb of Mt. Gox and Stellar fame, who dumped all of his XRP on the XRP army. And we talked about this over the past few years. We were watching him drain his addresses. Ripple is run by parasites, in my opinion, and the fact that I have to keep saying in my opinion should tell you something about my fear of getting sued by this company. Ripple is run by parasites, and again, that's just my opinion, who think that collaborating with governments to roll out central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, is a great idea. We can see here from this Kitco article, Ripple working with more than 20 countries on central bank digital currency plans. This is basically helping to build the future digital prison. And here's the same thing on Ripple's website itself. Ripple's central bank digital currency platform offers a comprehensive platform for minting, managing, transacting, and destroying CBDCs and stablecoins. Now, Ripple execs have also been a major funding source for unjustified and highly misleading energy attacks on Bitcoin. When you consider Bitcoin energy FUD, this is all, a lot of this comes from Ripple. We have Chris Larson's campaign along with Greenpeace to try to change Bitcoin's code, which will never happen. You can see this account on Twitter that's pushing the same thing. So let's be clear. If you're cheering for Ripple today, you're on the side of scammers who've destroyed the financial lives of thousands of people with their scammy token, in my opinion. You're also on the side of government collaborators who are actively working to enslave us with CBDCs, in my opinion. If you're cheering for Ripple and XRP, you're actually actively helping to muddy the waters and delay the Bitcoin revolution. So before you start rejoicing too much, you really should consider those things and whose side you are playing on. If you're enjoying this video so far, I just ask you to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the comment button as well. So what does this court ruling actually say? I would suggest that the XRP army should not be celebrating quite yet. This decision does not change anything about the Howey test. We're seeing a lot of really wrong takes on Twitter today, and this decision could be reversed upon appeal, which actually seems quite likely once you realize what a confused mess it is. So when Ripple sold XRP tokens to institutional investors like hedge funds and VCs, XRP was an investment contract. In other words, it was qualified as a security, and they were selling unregistered securities. It passed the Howey test. But when Ripple dumped XRP on retail using exchanges like Coinbase, XRP magically was not an investment contract according to this particular judge in this particular ruling. This doesn't make any sense. But it is important to emphasize, because you're not seeing this enough on Twitter, Ripple lost a very, very important part of the case. $729 million worth of sales of XRP did indeed violate U.S. securities law, and as a result, Ripple is going to need to return this money to investors probably and pay huge fines. And the judge also ordered a trial to determine the personal responsibility for all of this of executives Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. I'll link to the ruling in the description notes below, and you can read it here. Here's one phrase, one paragraph that I want to talk about when it talks about the retail buyers of XRP. Here's a quote from the ruling. It may certainly be the case that many programmatic buyers, these are people who bought XRP on exchanges like Coinbase, purchased XRP with an expectation of profit, but they did not derive that expectation from Ripple's efforts, particularly because none of the programmatic buyers were aware that they were buying XRP from Ripple. I think this is a very, very bad part of the ruling and a very confused interpretation of the Howey test. Retail buyers of XRP represent the far, far left side of the crypto bell curve. They're right out there with the Celsius and Hex people. And so in one sense, what's going on in their heads should not be the basis for any kind of legal argument. If you've seen Idiocracy, this is sort of what's the XRP army, the level that they think at. But it is still quite clear that even the smooth brain XRP army understood that it was Ripple's efforts that would pump XRP. And you can see it even all over the comments in my YouTube videos. Here's a typical XRP Army comment. I know XRP is centralized and 90% of the supply is controlled by Ripple. And then you can see another response. I was really skeptic of XRP myself at first. Very interesting language at first, but all the info we have on it and Ripple's hard work is painting a very clear picture, and it's an extremely positive one. So here's an example of investors in XRP who had a reasonable expectation of profits, and this was driven in part by all of the marketing that Ripple has done. And over the past few years, Ripple has promoted XRP everywhere, on the Ellen DeGeneres show and on Stephen Colbert's show, all over the place. And they were the main holders of XRP and the main promoters of it. So if it looks and quacks like a duck, it is probably a duck. And the whole point of the Howey test is to look past these external forms and to get to the heart of the matter itself, which is this thing in question being issued by a centralized group of people to fund itself by creating the public expectation of profits? And it's very, very clear to anyone who looks into it that XRP is a token issued and marketed by a corporation and sold to fund company operations. There will be some people who say, oh, Ripple never issued XRP. It just magically ended up with 90% of the supply. That's something I've addressed in other videos. And they did some very sneaky legal things to try to make it look like they did not issue it. But you can even ask yourself from a common sense perspective, how did this corporation, if they didn't issue XRP, magically end up with all of it? It was gifted to them by Jen McCallick. There are all these different takes on it. But in fact, this was a token that was marketed by a corporation and it was sold to fund company operations. And so you can't pretend that it's a security when it's sold to smart people like institutional investors, and that it's not a security when it's sold to dumb people like the XRP Army. This is a terrible, inconsistent position to take, and it actually muddies the regulatory waters even more. And as such, I expect it to be overturned on appeal. It's important to note here as well that nothing has changed with Ripple's fundamentals. It's still a highly centralized project, as even members of the XRP Army admit, as I showed in that comment just now. It's a highly centralized project. It had an initial extremely unfair distribution, which the XRP Army is aware of as well. It runs on a centrally managed ledger where the Ripple node itself is the only node that matters, and it's managed by slimy executives. They're only slimy in my opinion. They're probably wonderful people in real life, just like Mashinsky and Do Kwon were. Ripple and its executives will continue to dump their XRP tokens on naive retail investors for now, especially now that they have the cover of this ruling until it's overturned. And XRP, as a result, will continue to lose value against Bitcoin, which remains the apex predator of money. The XRP Army is very excited about XRP's performance over the past few days, but we can see here that it's just a small blip. Hasn't even taken out previous 2022 highs on the XRP BTC exchange rate. And so whatever happens in the short term and medium term, I still expect XRP to continue to lose value against Bitcoin, as it has been losing value against Bitcoin since 2013. And so if you're a holder of XRP, I would really encourage you to do your research. This is a wonderful time to get out of XRP, to dump it, and to move that money into Bitcoin. That's not investment advice, but I think that's the rational thing to do, especially when you can benefit from a pop like this and try to reclaw some of your losses. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.